Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku. I've watched episode 7, I think the day before yesterday, and now I'm watching episode 8. I have like 4 episodes to catch up to, so I'm gonna try to watch it a little more often. Now, truth be told, I should be going to sleep by now, because I have work tomorrow. But I don't feel like it. I feel like watching more Saitou-san. And I also don't expect today's episode to be particularly, how should I say it? Particularly big, particularly important. I don't expect it to take a lot of discussion, a lot of analysis. I expect it to be mostly a downtime episode. Maybe we will see the resolution of Kisaragi's ninja's arc. What happened to him? Will he actually die, or will it turn out that it's just a something pulled by the minister, by the king, to make people just not want to use that power and make it a little bit of a test, right? Just how devoted is he? Or, any number of things can happen. The first frame of this episode I can already see is the ninja, so we will probably start right where we left off with all of them teleporting away. We will probably see some shenanigans of our main party. Perhaps we will browse through the items in this area, otherworldly items. It seems like it would be a waste if they didn't. If Saitou didn't at least find a screwdriver or something that he can use, or that Roomba that really started it all. And besides that, there are also many other useful items, so it would make sense for them to take at least some of the more inconspicuous ones, right? I'm not saying they should take a microwave and a bike, but at least a set of kitchen knives or, I don't know, some metal pole, things that can be useful and inconspicuous even in a medieval era, medieval level society. What else do I expect? Perhaps we will continue Modlok's theme. Modlok's whole little thing with his memories and stuff. There were some hints in the previous episode that Modlok might have recovered his memories, so I wonder where that is going to go. Did he actually, or did he not? We'll see. We'll see about that. What else do I expect? Not really much more than that, honestly. As I said in the previous episode, this anime is very hard to predict, and I kinda like it. I kinda do. And what happened in the previous episode, because I didn't entirely talk about that. Well, what happened is we defeated the Pillar of Flesh. Morlock did, actually. At the same time, he limited his power output enough to save Primas and Kisaragi and the two demons, because he saw their memories and saw them as worthy of saving, or rather as not deserving death. Then, of course, the Prime Minister and the Demon Lord arrived, ready to kill Kisaragi, but it was all solved mostly because one of the demons happened to be a nephew of the Demon Lord, which was a great moment, honestly. Very unexpected, but also cool. I like how the tension instantly dropped off. And this show has many situations of, tension rising, and then someone throws a joke or something funny happens and the tension is down. I like this little roller coaster of tension. And it was rather revealed that all of the people that Kisaragi killed were actually just recovered. They just, revived, resurrected, because they can do that. And as long as everybody forgets what they saw, everybody forgives him, then he will avoid death. But of course he wants to atone, and when it comes to light, that the king is able to use magic rejuvenation magic, that the price of it is taking someone's life, supposedly, and it can rejuvenate someone. Well, of course, Ninja agrees immediately to use that rejuvenation magic on the witch and use his life as payment. Since we also learned from Morlock that time cannot be taken back locally. You either rewind the whole history of the entire universe, or you don't rewind anything. You can't turn someone back in time, right? You can't just pick and choose what you want to rewind, what you want to stop. You either stop everything, rewind everything, or nothing at all. It also has some interesting implications for his history with his daughter. Because if he remembers, well, now he needs to make a choice. Does he rewind the time and invalidate everything that happened? He never summons Saito, he never meets Raelza, but his daughter lives. Or does he continue in this timeline, bearing the sin of her daughter being dead? Although, I have a sneaky feeling that it might be another tension drop moment where we believe that the daughter is dead, and then the big drop when it turns out that she's alive. Later on, we didn't see her body, so maybe the mother took the body, searching for some way to revive her, or I don't know, something like that. I've grown accustomed to this tension rising and a massive drop, but then again, this anime is kinda unpredictable, so it's just as possible that there will be no drop off in that case. It's just as possible that Morlock will turn back time, but after turning back time and saving his daughter, he will still summon Saito, he will still meet Raelza, right? He will still progress roughly the way he usually did, but with the change being his daughter being alive. Although he will never learn time magic. What implications will that have for a situation like this, right? If they were to face against Kisaragi again, without Morlock's time magic, they would not be able to win. So, timey-wimey shenanigans do be shenaniganing, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, I've been talking for 7 minutes already, so I think it's about the time to stop it and start watching, right? And to do that, of course, you will need your subs to follow along. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily, Patreon, throw links in the description below, or not, share my content, spread the word, it's completely free, costs you nothing and helps the channel still. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 8 of Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku in 3, 2, 1, go. Yep. Back where we left off. Just a handyman, not a regular, usual, everyday handyman. You're an Isekai protagonist, my dude. Now, true, without the usual Isekai protagonist powers, but an Isekai protagonist nonetheless. That alone has some value, that alone is a sort of a power. Right? I mean, his knowledge about lockpicking and stuff. Okay, do we see Kisaragi in the opening? Not really. At least not in the context of potential teammates. Maybe he's not gonna join as a teammate. Maybe he's gonna be employed by the king. he did get a jump on the Minister and the Demon Lord, and we know how powerful they are. So he seems like someone worthy of King's attention, someone worthy of joining their little team. Oh, there's Kisaragi. But of course, in the context of being a villain. What I gained from the battle. Okay. Ah, the Roomba. It was just something from his world that he noticed. Yeah, steam locomotive, a bike. Oh, a bunch of randos. Yeah, probably a good idea. And if there's someone who will be able to recognize the useful stuff, it will be Saito. I wonder, is the comedic moment gonna be that no, he didn't? Oh. Okay, so I guess he at least remembers the dog. Pemoridius II. Okay. Okay, so he did recover some memory. Oh, maybe not after all. Okay, the ninja and the witch, the conclusion. Please show me the conclusion. Sure, most wealthy man. That's a sword. I mean, yeah. You gotta make a living somehow, right? Yep. Saw the error of his ways. Oh, face reveal. Also, can't he just be resurrected? People can resurrect in this world. Can't he just be brought to the temple and resurrected? That's another thing I realized. Or does the sword, like, destroy their very soul, their very essence of being? They not just cease to live, but cease to be. And where's Primas? She went with Kisaragi. Whomst? Oh, he's alive? Just a couple of limbs missing? Okay, so he's alive. Interesting. Okay, and we immediately get an explanation. I can appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, so that's how they got over it. Isn't there a limb regrowth magic, though? We know you can reattach limbs. Can you regrow them, though? And where is Primas? Oh, memory loss. Well, that sucks. Will he stick around or will... No, he's just gonna hobble away. And where is Primas? She's gonna catch up? Oh, here you are. And she has no wings. I expected her to have one. Okay, she has none. And she's skinny. Yeah, you can build new memories. Are you? How can you be an assassin with a missing arm and a missing leg? True. Whomst? Oh, people bothering the witch. She forgot magic? Okay, he doesn't need another leg. I guess when you can just blink, you don't need both legs. Shadow stitching. Yep. So that still works. With what? Okay. You're still gonna run. Okay, croissants. Or whatever it is that she bakes. Scones, was it? I think she's making scones. Can't quite recall. Some sort of puff pastry. Okay, so she forgot about Primas as well. Yeah, I mean, he could use one. That was an easy joke. That was a very easy joke to make. Okay. Okay, that's cool. I hope we see them again. The witch, the ninja, and the fairy. Microwave, laptop, bike. Why? No need for the royal magicians. Saito knows what they are. That feels very much like an ending. Of course. Why does she have a joy... Is that a ring fit around her neck? It's a ring fit around her neck, isn't it? With a Joy-Con. uh... And they found friendship. Yeah, that's a ring fit. Or something similar. Did she take example of Raelza, that Raelza also has something with a thingy in front, so she also wanted something similar. Just found a ring fit and took the first thing. Yeah. You could probably use a good meal and good rest. About? And what if he did? Oh, possibility of returning. Gotcha. Well, Saito doesn't want to return, so problem solved. Okay, so he did recover his memories partially. And instead of summoning his daughter, he summoned Saito. Or is Saito his daughter reincarnated? Yeah, he did kinda save Saito's life. Yeah, that's the whole thing that Raelza is worried about. Very much so. Yep. Yeah, I don't think you actually care about exploring, you just care about having Saito around. Yeah. You care about having Saito around. And she stormed off. You gonna have a heart-to-heart now? Lacking around her sword. Don't you have some sort of GPS magic to localize them? No, not particularly. Yeah, exactly. Of course she does. The moon is beautiful tonight, isn't it? And Morlock crashes the confession. No, not Morlock. A bug. And Ralza doesn't have a weapon. Oh, it's not Ralza's blood, I'm assuming. uh... Okay, no, she has a cut on her face. Is me. She says as she's tearing that bag apart with bare hands. What a confession. uh... I want the girl to confess to me as she's ripping apart a monster. Gonna patch her wound? Magic band-aid? Okay, well, that's as close to a mutual confession as it's probably gonna get. No. Tehepero? Yep. Okay, he would be returned right to where he was taken from. So he would return and then immediately die. Yeah. Or you will be isekai somewhere else. I mean, we know how Japanese tracks work, so... Although in that case he would be reborn, not isekai'd, so slightly different. Okay, back to the routine life. So this is the finale. What of the remaining 4 episodes, though? And is Kisaragi with her? Oh, sorry, I thought it's a witch for a moment. No, it's just naked Raelza. Interesting bit of information that she sleeps in the nude. Although that was established when they shown Saito appearing in her room, so I guess not a new bit of info. I mean, you didn't clearly state what you feel either, you just said you need him. I didn't hear any Aishiteruyo, or even Daisuke. And he's disappeared? Oh, so that's gonna be the next arc. That's gonna be what happens for the next 4 episodes. No. No. I won't believe that. No. Oh, Jesus. What a way to end it. I'm glad it wasn't the season finale. Boy, am I glad it's not the season finale. I was wondering what are they gonna do for the next 4 episodes. Well, shit. I have an answer, and what an answer is it? Fuck, I need a moment. I thought he maybe disappeared somewhere, like went out of the room and just went, I don't know, searching for his daughter or something like that. Suddenly recovered his memories, or maybe his dementia got worse and just went out wandering, but. Dead? No way in hell. No! That couldn't have happened. Fuck, why do I need to have work tomorrow? I want to watch another episode. Ah. Well, right now we're gonna have to make do with watching this one again. So how about we do just that? Yeah, last time on Dragon Ball Z. OP, 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 OP. Yeah, looking for various things. They could use a bike. Locomotive, not so much, but a bike would be hella useful. And there are other adventures are coming. Pemo. Pemoridius II, so I'm guessing the Morlock's actual favorite is already dead. This is the son of Pemoridius. And of course, haha, Morlock lost memories. That's a continued gag. Well, for how long will it continue, though? That's a question. For how long will it continue? Okay, Blood Sword steals the life force of my enemies, and apparently can transport poured that life force into someone else. It's not a life leech sword, but rather life transfer sword. Interesting. I wonder if perhaps a lot of King's power comes from having like a whole collection of various swords. That would be interesting. He has a whole arsenal, right? Healing sword, baking sword, chair sword, the most comfortable chair you're ever gonna use. His throne is actually a sword. I don't know why it just came to me, but it would be interesting. Isn't there a manga that I think also got an adaptation where someone is like an alchemist and makes potions, and one of the skills is that they can make flasks for the potions, but what is a flask is very loosely defined, so they can make like a flask sword and a flask armor and stuff like that. Something around those lines? I don't know. It will cost your whole life to save the witch. From what I've heard, you're an assassin. Yeah. It was my trade and I didn't know any other way to live. That doesn't absolve him, but it does explain him. My rash act ended up causing her to grow old. Those I've killed must also have had people they loved. Indeed. King's face is immediately has much more definition. The lighting, the additional lines, you can see things are getting serious in this show when people's faces increase in definition. You're a pitiable man. Face reveal. I want this sinful life to help someone. I'm magnanimous. I shall grant your wish, and the blood splatter, and she wakes up. And immediately, we are shown that Kisaragi, at least we think it's Kisaragi, he's missing an arm and a leg, so we're not quite sure. But he is alive, as it turns out, and looks very much like Speed of Sound Sonic from from One Punch Man. He's just missing the markings on his face. Okay, maybe his hair is a little bit more puffy. Yeah, he's not gonna take his life. What is needed is the life of someone who knows. Yeah. I'll use half of yours and half of the black fairies until the sword glows crimson. Okay, so you can either kill someone or you can just start hacking at them until the sword tells you, yeah, that's enough. It can now do what needs to be done. I also thought that this rejuvenation magic will perhaps make him grow old, right? Like age transferal kind of sort of thing. But apparently it's more like operates on like bodily physical life kind of deal. Primas lost her wings, he lost his arm and leg, and that makes up for a whole life to rejuvenate the witch. So I'm assuming if there were like 4 people willing to do that, then all it would take is each of them losing a limb. If there were, I don't know, 100 people willing to do that, everybody loses their pinky and life is also restored. Interesting. Interesting because that means the more friends you have, the more likely they are to agree to do something like that for you. And she lost her memories. I'm assuming rejuvenation literally like reverted her physically back to the point where she was still young. And that means it also reverted all the neural connections in her brain that stored memories about Primas and about Kisaragi and about everything else. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense, actually. And of course, he's a coward like that. And coward, and also a lot of self-deprecation, right? I killed so many people, I lived the life of an assassin, I have no right to love, I have no right to be happy. All that matters is for her to be happy. Yeah, I mean, makes perfect sense for his character, don't get me wrong. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, just the fact that she's back is to what she was makes me. And of course, what's gonna happen to Primas, right? She's a fairy that lost her wings and lost all of her magic as well, which is an interesting tidbit. And she lost all of her chub. Good thing that she was this fat, because apparently fat tissue also counts as life. So maybe if you have like 4 really fat acquaintances with you, then all of them get forceful liposuction and you get rejuvenated and everybody benefits. There are some very interesting implications about how this sword works. That as life, it accepts limbs, it accepts wings, it accepts magic power, or is it that her magic power comes from her wings? So losing the wings also means losing magic power. That could be it. Losing body fat also counts as life. But I am an assassin. I love Primas. I should be allowed to be happy. I fucking love Primas. One of my favorite characters, probably. Just such an angry, tiny little package, right? All that anger of a big human just condensed into a tiny little figure. Yeah, what you're planning to do next? Become a monk? And I also love how she immediately, how should I say it? Kind of grounds it, right? Usually it's just a figure of speech. What are you planning to do next? Become a monk? But no, you can actually become a monk, but you need to learn light magic, and you're too old, you're not gonna learn light magic. And what are you gonna do? Memorize some useless chants and charms? That's not gonna make you a monk. You can't even become a monk. Hmm. I didn't sense much magical energy either. Why would it be? Did she grow this powerful because she was alive for hundreds of years? And since she was rejuvenated, her magic power also went down to the point where she was like 20 something? Could be. Could it also be that the king rejuvenated her body but didn't rejuvenate her magic power because that would require even more parts of Kisaragi's and Primas's body? Could be that she's just partially rejuvenated. And yeah, he doesn't need legs, he doesn't need arms, he can just blink around and he's still certified badass. I really like it. I really like the fact that even with missing limbs, he's perfectly capable of fighting. Shadow stitching, of course, still works. Even with a body like this, I'm capable of slitting your throat. He very much is. I like it. He didn't become miserable. Mentally, maybe, right? He does wallow in pity, for sure, but he didn't become miserable physically. He's still capable. Give him a peg leg and he can help around the house, for sure. He can till some fields or go shopping with the witch or whatever they're gonna do, right? And of course, Primas to the rescue. Treat us to something. Kisurugi, not Kisaragi, Kisurugi. I'll show you my gratitude. Would you like a hand? Ah! Apropos hand, what happened to those? What happened to his hand? What happened to his leg? What happened to Primas's wings? That's a good question. Could they actually be reattached? Another question about how that sword works. Can you kill someone and rejuvenate someone else with that power, and then just revive the dead person at the cathedral? Because we know it's something that can be done. There are spells to revive people. There are rituals to revive them. Could you cut off their hand, then reattach it, then cut it off again, reattach it, cut it off again, reattach it, until the sword charges with the power of a full life, right? We saw the arm and the leg fall on the ground. They didn't disappear. They weren't vaporized or anything like that. You'd expect them to, like, I don't know, turn into red sparkles and be sucked up by the sword, if that's how it works, that it just disappears those things so that they cannot be reattached, and if you're killed with it, you disappear and thus you cannot be revived. But we did see them fall down, and we did see the king hold Primas's wings in his hand. And of course, best bros helping Kisurugi. Both wouldn't have the courage unless we did this. Yeah. I was scared he might suddenly kiss her again, though. What implications would that have? Or is he just, oh no, I will be so embarrassed seeing them kiss? Could be either way. Thumbs up from Primas. The ninja and the witch will surely fall in love again. I fully expect them to show bits and pieces of their life together every now and then, right? Like we have an episode and with Raelza and Saito maybe looking for Morlock or whatever they're going to be doing, and then it cuts off at some point and it shows a scene from the daily life of Kisurugi and the witch, and then it cuts back to action. Returning from the Great Labyrinth. Some cages, a bike, a globe, laptop, and alas, they were all confiscated. They would do better if they hired Saito to explain them what those items do instead of having some sort of a court wizard experiment on them. But I don't think they know Saito came here from another world. I don't think it's one of the worlds where Isekai people are commonplace. Because there are, usually you could say, two different kinds of Isekai worlds. Those where people being Isekai is something, unique. And there are those worlds where someone getting Isekai there is like commonplace. Oh yeah, sure, my great-grandfather was also from Japan, and our king, I'm pretty sure he's from a country named like Ameriku or something like that. Right, there are those worlds as well. This doesn't seem like the kind. We never did find that robot vacuum. Yeah, that's a ring fit. That's a ring fit with a Joy-Con. How was she able to carry it out? How was she allowed to? Couldn't everybody just grab a piece and start wearing it? It looks so stupid on her neck. The one who will defeat you is me, Flannery. Understand? Of course she does. Giver here loves that Saito, indeed. And the hero being oblivious and overly friendly as a hero is wont to do, of course. I'm sure we'll run into each other again. I'm sure of that as well. If we head down into the Great Labyrinth, we can see them whenever we want. Yeah, actually. They will probably also keep exploring this labyrinth, so if you want to meet them, that's your best chance. And of course, talking about the possibility of returning Saito. There's someone I wanted to see more than anything. I don't remember who it was I wanted to see, but I called for them, I summoned them, and Saito popped out. Was it actually a mistake in that spell? Was it actually the spell failing? Or is Saito Morlock's granddaughter, Morlock's daughter, resurrected? Saito is Morlock's daughter. Resurrected. She resurrected in Japan and then was brought from Japan back to this world. When I arrived, Saito was there, indeed. And yeah, he did save Saito's life and did give Saito a goal and some happiness in finding himself useful. Can you send Saito back though? And of course, Raelza doesn't want that. She tries to justify her feelings and kind of escape from them by saying, oh, what about exploring? Saito was so useful, he's an integral part of our team, right? How was it when Saito wasn't around? It was bad, right? And during the fight with the ninja, he was so useful. And yeah, our party got so good because of Saito. He's beneficial for our party. Right? She tries to escape her true, actual feelings, or rather, she tries to avoid voicing them. But the tears are telling you more than enough. Also, I love how she has that girly sort of run. Usually in anime, it's the hands going on the sides like that, kind of a run, baka, and she runs away swinging her arms this way. That's kind of Raelza's run here, and it's great. I like it. I really do. Do you want to come back? Do you want to go back to the world you came from? No, not particularly. And of course, confession. Almost a confession. It may just be conceit on my part, but nah, here is the most I've ever been needed in my life. That's something you gotta feel, being needed. Do you need me? And she blushes, because of course she needs Saito. And she can't squeeze out a proper confession because monsters attack. I honestly was worried what's gonna happen here. Is she gonna lose an arm? Is she gonna lose a leg? What's gonna happen? What's happening right now? But no, it seems like it was the monster bleeding. And this is just an amazing scene. Raz just almost confessing to Saito, all the while ripping that monster to shreds. More than anyone else, I need you. Venom in its claws. Drink the anti-venom. And of course, Saito wants to be with the person who needs me the most, of course. This is honestly as close as you can get to a confession here. The next step would be Daisuke, and the next one would be Aishiteruyo. And of course, Modrok forgor. Because that's his shtick. He forgors sometimes. Can you do the reverse? Kinda, but when you get returned into the same place and the same time. So Saito would be returned and then immediately die. So even if he wanted to go back, which he doesn't, going back would just be a death sentence. So he technically cannot go back. Even if there is a way to send him back, he just can't. That immediately solves the whole problem, solves the whole issue of what if he goes back, can he go back, right? All that drama around it No, he doesn't want. No, he doesn't want to go back, and no, he cannot go back. Simple. Drop the topic. We don't need to say anything more on that. Cool. I like it. I really do. I really do like how this show can be very like cut to the chase, right? It's not some drama that's spanning episodes where it constantly sits in Raelza's head. Is he going to go away? Is he not going to go away? Oh no, Saito is going to get injured. Will that push him to want to go back to his world? Oh no, Saito said he doesn't like the food in this inn. Will he start thinking of food at home? Right? All those thoughts for like 7 fucking episodes straight. No. Problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. I can appreciate that very much. And Morlock got bitten by the serpent. Interesting, because the serpent was ripped apart, seemingly, but oh well. No magic that works on this venom, used medicine. Back to the routine life of an adventurer. I don't know why I thought this is the scene from Witches and Kisaragi's life. There's Raelza's helmet, there's Raelza's sword. Of course, it's fucking Raelza and not a witch. Also, the witch has like lilac, bluish gray hair, and Raelza has brownish purple gray. And naked Raelza. There we go. Like being gently carried away on a current, like drifting off to sleep at night, our hearts are one. Just like hunters stalking deer to the depths of future, where kindness is the one thing I'm certain I felt. You know, I'm sure we don't know anything, but you know, for right now, that's fine. That's a song about Raelza and Saito, isn't it? You haven't clearly stated what your feelings are. I mean, you didn't clearly state it either. You said you need him, but not much besides that. You need him because what? He's useful at lockpicking things? That's how it could be understood. But that's alright for now. One day we'll shine the light as we picture it, as we paint it. On the upper floors, it's easier without the geezer. Since he's resting today because of that venom yesterday, it's perfect, isn't it? And it apparently took them 4 days. And Modlock isn't here. Apparently he's died. He's died. He's died. Apparently he's dead. Shit. That's something interesting about this show I also noticed. How seemingly innocuous things can have big consequences. Right? Very comedic relief kind of a moment of Morog getting chewed on by the bag. Oh, haha, he's getting chewed on by the bag, and oh, they're out of antidote. Oh, haha, Morlock, you funny you. And he said it itches. Oh, that's a knee slapper. And that event directly or indirectly caused his death. Suddenly, I no longer feel like slapping my knee, you know? 3 days ago, he passed away. I wonder about that. I wonder about that. Because of the venom? Because of what? Just of old age? He is quite ancient, isn't he? Did he stage his own death? It wouldn't surprise me. He wanted to go, his memories returned. He decided to go on a journey to find his wife and daughter, and maybe find his wife and maybe find a way to revive his daughter, but didn't want Raelza and Saito to worry, so he staged his own death to start life anew or something. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm finding it very hard to believe that they would actually kill Morlock. I'm finding it extremely hard to believe. And I'm tempted to read the manga, I'm tempted to read some spoilers, but I'm not gonna. I'm tempted to watch another episode, but I'm not gonna either, because if I go to sleep right here, right now, I'm gonna have 4 hours of sleep tomorrow. So I don't wanna cut it by another hour. Shit. What a way to end an episode. And I was wondering, where's it gonna go? Because it seems like most of the threads were closed, right? Today's episode was very much a finale, very much an ending to so many open threads. And where are they gonna go next, right? We're not gonna get the plot of trying to return Saitou. We're not gonna get the plot of, I don't know, testing out the new items from the dungeon. None of that. One possibility I saw is maybe trying to find a way to resurrect Morlock's daughter, but that would be a Morlock arc, not a whole party arc. So I was wondering, what are we gonna do? When Morlock disappeared, when the bed was shown empty, I thought we might have an arc of looking for Morlock. He went somewhere, nobody knows when, nobody knows how, nobody knows why, and now Saitou, Raelza, Lafanpan, and perhaps Gibelg, or whatever the name of this shielder dwarf is, they're gonna set off on a journey to find him. Or something like that. But this kind of cuts that thread immediately. And if he actually is alive, which I don't think he is, it limits what they can do with future episodes even more, because what else is there to do? The only thing stringing the story forward was still Morlock's desire to save his daughter. Now, what would be left? Raelza and Saitou going to the dungeon and exploring the dungeon and just rinse and repeat? Not really, no. Interesting where they're gonna go with it. For sure. For sure. To be continued. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for being continued. For being to be continued. What an episode. An episode This episode very much exemplifies what Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku is, in my opinion. It had everything that makes this show this show. It had a couple of comedic moments, sure. It had a couple of dramatic moments that we didn't know how are they gonna end. Are they gonna end dramatically, like Morlock's story? Right, the whole thing with his daughter dying, with him losing memories, his memories being wiped, it didn't have a good end. It didn't have a haha moment that suddenly turned things around. Or will it turn into some haha moment? Right? There's always that. There's always that uncertainty, and it was the same thing in case of Kisaragi and the witch. Could Kisaragi die and the witch be revived? Yes, that's reasonable to expect in the context of this show, absolutely. Could there be a haha moment that allows Kisaragi to just live? The king says, "Oh yeah, it was just a test. I don't actually need anybody's life to cast this spell. I can just revive her like that. But shh, don't you tell anybody about it." And so he does, and everybody lives ever after and happily ever after. And it's a fun, light-hearted conclusion. There's always that uncertainty, but now we are introduced to third way, a middle point, a bittersweet ending to a thing. It doesn't end with pure drama, it doesn't end with a haha moment that completely inverts everything. It ended somewhere in the middle. Kisaragi is alive, and Primas is alive, and the witch is alive, so that's good. That's perfectly good. Kisaragi misses his limbs, Primas misses her wings and her magic, and the witch's memory was wiped. Well, that's not good. So ultimately we end up somewhere in the middle. So now I'm gonna be even more on edge. How are things going to go? About everything. Because usually I had just two versions of every event. How can it go prepared in my head? It can either go really bad or it can go really good. We can either go for the drama or go for the comedy. Now there's also that middle ground bittersweet possibility. So what will happen with Morlock? Is he actually dead? And it's actually gonna be this dramatic moment. And perhaps Raels and Saito are going to search for ways to resurrect him or something. Or is it gonna be a funny, light-hearted haha moment of it turns out that Morlock created a clone of himself to stage his own death and really went to search for his wife. And it turns out that he finds the wife, and when Raelza and Saito find him, he's living a happy life somewhere in a cottage with his wife and his resurrected daughter. Or is it going to be bittersweet? Maybe he lost himself in his dementia and just wandered somewhere off. Shit. This anime definitely makes me uncertain, and definitely makes me uneasy, and definitely makes me on edge. In a good way, in a way that not many others do. Great example of it. Right, I said this episode really exemplifies what this series is. Another example is Morlock being bitten by the bug and it being an indirect cause of his death, or direct, we don't know that. Usually in an anime, that scene of him being bitten by the bug would just be it on its own. It would just be a comedic scene for comedic effect and with no future repercussions for it. Or perhaps used as a device to give us a bit of a breather, right? Morlock lays in bed, so Raels and Saito can't really adventure without him, so they just spend the time in the city, recovering and resting and going to some festival and having fun, and you know how it usually is. But no, we use it as a device to drive more drama. It's not just. This series isn't just about jumping from drama to comedy for this shock value, but also from jumping from comedy to drama for a similar amount of shock value, but in the other direction. It's super interesting how everything is tied together. There aren't any events that would go to waste. There aren't any moments that would just drive future events in a very tropey and usual way. There is always some sort of a spin on something. But mostly it's about that constant uncertainty and constant roller coaster of emotions. It's good. I mean, what else can I say? Shit's good, yo. Yeah, I'm gonna be waiting for the next episode. Whenever I can record it. Maybe still today after I come back from work, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe over the weekend. I don't know, but I'm back into the swing of things. Um I'm back into Benriya Saitou-san for sure. For sure. Yeah, I have a complete emptiness, but at the same time, complete chaos in my head. What do I think about it? What do I expect from it? I don't know. I don't know. But maybe you do. And if you do, or do you think you do, say so in the comments. down below. What did you think of this episode, my theories, my reactions, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. I know there are future episodes around, and there's also the source material. If you want to discuss those, there's my Discord server. He'll also link in the description. You can join it, and there's a channel for the show where you can talk about those things. And I'm not gonna see those spoilers. Simple as. And of course, plenty of other channels to talk about stuff and things. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, but also Ooyukiumi no Kaina, Symphogear XD, and others coming in the future. Support the channel if you want. I also stream sometimes, so click the bell to be notified when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, thrown links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month, you can get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear and Madoka Magica and others, and for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And you also get the knowledge, the realization that you're getting me one step closer to not having to go to work and being able to watch 2 episodes of an anime at 3 in the morning without any repercussions for it, right? So that's something to also consider. And on a throne, you can pitch indirectly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot still. And now, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my current Patreons. And you can join their ranks if you so want without the need to revert the time, or yeah, that kind of fell apart.